Good morning and welcome back to The Modern Dodo here on YouTube. It's another weekend, which means it's time to produce another video. And I've spent the last couple weekends focusing a little bit more on my NFT project because I've been spending a lot of time in that space. I've actually got a few that are on sale now. I haven't been able to sell any yet, but my day's coming soon. I'm actually running a contest on Twitter. So if you want to scoot over to Twitter after you're done watching this video, at The Modern Dodo on Twitter, I am actually, I got a pretty good response right off the bat. I have a pinned tweet, and I am now going to be doing a drawing for 10 of my NFTs that I'll be doing as a giveaway on July 1st. So there's plenty of time to enter. Check that out at The Modern Dodo. It's my pinned tweet. But because I've been spending a lot of time in the NFT space, I wanted to get back and do something a little bit different, switch up the topics this week. So I'm going to go back to the big three things that I'm watching for the week ahead. And as I start to put together the list of the things that are most interesting on my radar, it's really sort of all over the map. So hopefully you find at least 2 out of the 3 interesting. And speaking of 2 out of 3, that's going to be my first topic. This one is work related. If you don't follow me regularly, I recently transitioned from a sales role for the Tampa Bay Lightning Hockey Club. I spent 17 years in that role, to a marketing role with an auto dealership, Murphy Auto Group. So I am the vice president of advertising for 5 car dealerships, 4 in Augusta, Georgia, 1 in Haines City, Florida. And a big part of my role is to grow my department as it is now into an agency. And one of the things that quickly landed on my radar when I first took on the role was the quality of the work that was being produced. I don't mean this to be a knock on the way things were done in the past. They did great work, and it led to a lot of car sales. But I really have always been one to believe that certain departments can set the tone for the rest of the organization. So in my early years with the Tampa Bay Lightning, I managed the entry-level sales team, and I always believed that our excellence could raise the bar. A good friend of mine said a natural brush fire, if you will, creating heat from the bottom up. I always believed that our department could set the bar and set the tone for the senior level sales teams. And we accomplished that to great results, and I was actually able to eventually take over those senior level sales teams. So what does it mean in my new marketing role? It means that I thoroughly believe that the marketing department can be a tone setter for the quality of work that the entire organization ends up producing moving forward. And again, not that it's bad work, I just believe that we can always push ourselves to get better. So that's exactly what I'm doing with our marketing team. One of the projects that I've taken on in recent weeks was resetting our billboards, amongst other projects. And when I looked at the billboards that we are currently producing, I thought this is a great chance for us to raise the bar. It took a little bit longer to get them produced and to get them up and running than even I would have liked. But the end result is we now have some absolutely fantastic billboards that are up in Augusta, and something we can really be proud of. And I think something that's going to create a little bit of pride amongst our team that's looking at those and passing them each and every day. So it got me to thinking as I was making that decision to choose excellence over speed. What was I really choosing? And there's an old adage or a saying, if you will, that you can either have good, fast, or cheap. Pick 2. You can't have all 3, right? So good, fast, or cheap, when you think about that, right? A great product, something that takes a great amount of craftsmanship, that's going to be good. And if you want it to be fast, you're probably going to pay a premium for that, right? But if you're willing to be patient, you'll be able to get it at a lower price, if you will. So for me, the price was non-negotiable. It really came down to, was I willing to slow down and say the current production isn't good enough, let's go back to the drawing board and look to raise the bar. That's what I ended up doing. So I ended up choosing, let's say, cheap and good at the expense of fast. And again, now that the billboards are up and they're running, I have absolutely no regrets. I'm not looking back. So I would encourage anybody that's out there looking to make decisions for their business or in their life to remember good, fast, cheap when I'm making decisions. Which of the three am I excluding? Because something is always lost in the equation. As I move on, the second topic that I wanted to talk about is a project that's recently hit my radar. And I'll admit, this one I am much less of an expert on. So when I say I'm watching it for the week ahead, I'm really researching it and seeing what it's all about. So the project is called, I believe it's called YAT, Y-A-T. The website is y.at. And what it is it's basically domain names, but in emoji forms. And if I look at how they're actually marketing it, it says be an icon. I'm peeking at their website right now on my second screen here. Your YAT is your universal emoji username, website URL, payment address, and more. So as we know, there's a lot of companies out there, or even individuals that have been opportunistic over time, right? I actually did not run into this. I was able to secure the modern Dodo, but let's just say I was starting a business and I was in love with the name The Modern Dodo. It had sentimental value, and somebody went out and scooped up the website before I could get to it. They would basically be paying a certain monthly rate to squat on that website and be able to sell it to me at a later date for a profit. A lot of people do that. It happens, it's very prevalent in sports, right? So when a new sports team is coming, well, let's just say when, I don't know exactly how it played out, rumors started to surface that the Oakland Raiders were going to move to Las Vegas. A lot of people would have gone out and grabbed websites such as Las Vegas Raiders, LV Raiders, things of that nature, so that they owned it, and then the team had to pay them a premium to gain that website. That's what's going on in this YAT space right now, is a lot of people are looking at it as a opportunity to squat on these, let's call it emoji usernames, right? So if you look at, let's say, cryptocurrency and crypto wallets, our wallet username that somebody would send me a token or send me cryptocurrency to, it's like 80 digits or something crazy long. Now, in theory, if I were to go out and purchase up the YAT, let's just say Lightning Bolt, Lion, Lightning Bolt, I would have that secured, and I could allow people to type that in, and it goes to the Modern Dodo. They could type that into eventually Venmo once it becomes integrated and pay me via Venmo. They could type it into MetaMask and pay me in crypto just by typing in what I say, Lightning, lion sign, Lightning. I don't remember even what I said. I'm just making up examples. But the small amount of research that I did do, the single emoji usernames, if you will, are going for an absolute premium. You actually can't even buy it online. You have to reach out to them, and they probably price negotiate it out. The doubles as well. The triple username, or the triple emojis. So if I were to go Lightning, Lion, Lightning, that would probably cost me about $750 to $800, and then it gets down closer to 100 or less than 100 for 4 and 5 emoji sequences. So I'm going to look into it over the week ahead. I think that there is potentially some value to those people that are starting to gobble these up as an investment opportunity. Obviously, the Yat development team has to do their work and be able to turn it into a viable concept so that it really does become universal. If it can't become truly universal, I think it loses a little bit of its legs, if you will. But if it can become truly universal, that definitely becomes something that will pay back on the investment that people put into it. I also think that it could just be a really simple and straightforward way to secure that universal username in the future. So perhaps the modern dodo should have a yat that involves some sort of sequence of birds so that people can find me more easily. I don't know if there is more easily than the modern dodo. This is why I've got to look into it all. If my nieces and nephew actually take the time to watch this video, I don't think they will. This will be a test of their support. They can comment to this video and I will purchase up a yat for them and give it to them as a gift so that they can tie everything together if this ends up being a really big thing. But they got to watch this video. They got to get all the way to the 11-minute mark and they got to leave a comment below. We'll see what they end up doing because I know they have YouTube. I just don't think they watch me. Moving on to topic number 3. Topic number 3, super exciting because the Champions League finale ended and it was, oh no, 90 days until soccer or football returns. And what am I going to do? And I forgot that Euros 2020 was delayed due to the pandemic. So Euros 2020 actually started up Friday. Friday was the first game Italy played in the afternoon. They ended up winning. That was at about 3 o'clock. I was going to watch it, but of course work beckons when it's a game being played at 3 o'clock. There was some games yesterday. An absolutely tragic occurrence in one of the games with Christian Eriksen simply collapsing about 5 minutes before halftime. He was down. It looked to me like they were administering CPR. It was absolutely silent in the stadium. I was silent watching it for about 10 or 15 minutes. They did end up carting him off the field. His teammates were surrounding him in tears, trying to give him privacy from the cameras. Absolutely devastating. The good news is that as of last night, the update was that he was in the hospital and his condition had stabilized. So while we don't know exactly what went on and if he's out of the woods yet, it does appear that things are on the up and up in terms of the big picture, his overall health. But that was really, really scary and put a damper on yesterday. We're bouncing back into today. And today starts in a big, big way because as I'm recording this, it's an hour before kickoff. England versus Croatia. Really good group stage matchup right now. I should actually just loop back for those that don't follow or don't watch a lot of football. Euros 2020 is the European national tournament. So similar to World Cup, but instead of the entire world, Europe is competing. And for me, being an American football fan, that means that I don't really have a club in the fight, but I do because my, I guess, backup club, if you will, is France. I've always liked their style of play. A lot of good players over the years, Zidane being one of my favorites. And my current favorite player on the world stage is none other than French legend Olivier Giroud. Sorry to see him depart Arsenal, but I continue to support him with Chelsea and with France. I know that he will have a massive Euros 2020 if they just put him on the pitch. So what does that mean? How can this player be so great in my eyes and him potentially not get on the field? I just want to take a moment to look at the France side here, if you will. So let's see, I lost my bookmark, so give me just a quick second here. Now, obviously, we know that there's more to winning on the field than just a good offense. But for the sake of time in this video, I won't cover the defense, which is strong with players such as Rafael Varane, Lucas Hernandez, right? Like, they're clearly loaded. I won't cover the midfield with Pogba and Conte and players of that nature. I just want to go to the attacking setup. So, in theory, you're only getting 3, maybe if you want to be really aggressive, 4 of these players on the field at any given time. So here's who France trots out in their attacking setup. So let's see, where do I want to start? I'm going to start at, in theory, the bottom. So the worst of their attacking talent, I guess in my eyes, is probably Marcus Thuram, who's a great player for Borussia and Gladbach in the Bundesliga. There's Dembele. Dembele, I think, was like $100 million transfer. He isn't quite totally shaken out, but he plays for Barcelona. His teammate, Griezmann, also playing for Barcelona. I was supposed to go in reverse order. I can't even really choose, so I'm just going to jump right into it. Ben Yedder, Coman, I mentioned Griezmann already. And then you've got Benzema, Kylian Mbappe, and Olivier Giroud. Right? So as you look at it, how do you possibly get all of these players on the pitch at the same time? I think if it were me, I would probably go with obviously Giroud in the center, Mbappe out on the right-hand side up front, and Kingsley Coman on the left side. I just think he's absolutely clutch. If you look at his young career, he has won championships at every club he's played for. So Euros 2021, I'm going to be watching this week. France v. Germany, 3 o'clock Tuesday. That is your must-see matchup of the week. And not just because I'm rooting for France, because France and Germany are arguably 2 of the favorites to win the entire thing, and they're going to meet to kick off the group stage this Tuesday. So whatever you choose to watch, whether it's the release of Loki on Disney+, whether it's catching up on some old streaming episodes such as The Office, which is absolutely crushing it for Peacock, or whether it's watching Euros 2020 in the 2021 calendar year, have an amazing week ahead. I'm the Modern Dodo, and thanks for joining me here on YouTube.